Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. We are running episode 92 of The Halls of Arden Vul Megadungeon by Richard Barton, using a heavily modified version of the old school Essential system by Necrotic Gnome. My name is John. I am your referee for the evening, and going around the horn tonight we have...
I am Brother Lothar, the one-eyed Brother Lothar. He's a 5th level cleric or 6th level cleric.
Sorry, I'm like, eh. I'm David. I'm playing Upior, the 6th level magic user.
Oh, we got a lot of 6th level. I'm Matt. I'm playing Wolfherd Cheek. He's a 6th level fighter, damn it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ted, and I'm playing Mortis J. Gobliano, a 7th level Imperial Goblin, and the reason, because of Feats of Exploration, that all these guys are 6th level. You're welcome.
Exactly. Yeah, okay. Quick little business thing at the top of the channel real quick. I just want to let everyone know that we are no longer on X/Twitter. As you can see below my name down there, we have a couple of new socials, not new socials, but just ones that we're highlighting more. So you're most likely to be able to contact us through our Discord, number one. But as far as social media goes, Blue Sky is where we are primarily now. But Blue Sky, Instagram, Mastodon at 3D6DTL, and our Patreon and YouTube channel is at /3D6 Down the Line, all written out. So feel free to contact us and hook up with us there. Okay, so that out of the way, let's get into it. It is the 17th of Gelenios, 2993. It is about 11 o'clock a.m. They are on the northern dock of the Great Fungal Caverns, looking out over the dark, not totally still waters of the lake that bisects the Fungal Caverns from east to west. After having surveyed it and explored a large chunk of it using Elizabeth in dolphin form, in a shape change form, with a floating Upior tied to the dolphin and scouting up above. So they've basically seen the vague overall impression of what the Fungal Caverns have to offer, minus any secrets. Last session, though, of course, Upior being Upior, did manage to find actually one of the very hidden secrets right near the cage that enters into the Fungal Caverns to the north, and a series of tight little natural caves which held some lizards and some recovering fungal foresters that apparently had been attacked by said lizards. Also with hints that perhaps members of the LRCP, or at least some beastmen, may have wandered into that area at some point. They witnessed a small little island, about a 30 by 20 foot island in the middle of the lake that was had some skeletons on it, and saw some gigantic crabs walk out of the water onto that beach. The northern dock didn't have a boat attached to it, thus the transformation by Elizabeth into a dolphin. They did find 3 boats, however, on the southern dock, and they pulled one back to the northern dock. I'm right about that, right? So there is a skiff on the northern dock now, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Meanwhile, Fungal Caverns being the Fungal Caverns, you got these gigantic mushrooms ranging for anywhere from 9 feet to 12 feet high, all sorts of different shades. The orange ones give off a slight phosphorescent glow in about a 30-foot radius. So these little patches, these little copses of light that don't totally illuminate the caverns, but do allow Upior to sort of kind of get the gist of things. So they knows that in the southern portion, actually, let's switch over for the audience here, that there is some substantial structures on the southern portion. One looks to be actually made, like manufactured in the middle, and there are 2 rock formations on either side of it as well, like promontories. The longer one on the east side is sloped. So as anyone who watched episode 91 probably remembers, we were having a tough time. I was having a tough time conveying the dimensions of the natural cavern to Ted. It was almost impossible to sort of draw this. So I took the liberty to sort of give the broad outlines of what Upior would probably be able to make out. So we have indications of elevations of some of those structures, and in general in the caves themselves. Yeah, so that's the situation. I want to before I get updates on the status of everybody, I want to give one correction that I made a mistake when Upior was delving in the western caves, was that the small cavern where the fungal foresters, little mushroom men, were recovering, I said that was southwest of the charmed lizard that had a nest. However, that is not the case. That cave was actually southwest of the very much not charmed lizards that were devouring something in the cave. So we're just going to say that Upior did get a bead on those fungal foresters, did have the action, and that somehow he managed to sort of skirt around those dangerous lizards, and we'll just call it a day for that. Meanwhile, though, there was still that smell of wet fur that was coming out of the southwest passage of the charmed lizard's nest, which remains
Were there any
unexplored.
sounds, John? Just if you don't mind.
What's
Could
that?
I ask if there were any sounds that I heard in that direction while
No
we're on the
sounds.
topic?
I think you did ask
Okay.
that at the time, but yeah, I don't.
I
There's
did.
nothing
I
that you
did,
can
but-
hear.
Cool.
Just that smell. Now, I need a reminder first of all of the light situation. So can I just get a brief overview of like what's going on with your ability to see?
We have 3 amulets with continual light cast upon them, and
Okay.
upon those 3 amulets, I've also cast Bracteris effect, which I rolled a 6-hour duration on
Yes,
when
I
we
had that duration.
started at the cage.
And we have a goop torch, right?
And we have a goop torch lit. Yeah.
We have a couple goop torches that are not lit.
Right.
Okay, so
Right.
who has the lockets?
I have one.
I have one.
Wolford had one. Yeah.
Okay.
So you
And
can-
Morton doesn't need one because he can see in the dark.
So you cast Bracteris effect 3 times.
It affects 3 different light sources.
Oh, okay, that's what I was checking. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm sorry. So Wolford has one, and Lothar has one, and Upior has one. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I have down that Elizabeth was carrying the goop torch, but Elizabeth is now a dolphin. So who's carrying
Right. So I think Lothar had taken that. So shield and torch.
Oh, maybe. Okay, I had L's torch, so maybe that was actually Lothar.
There you go.
Got it. Okay,
All
that
right.
makes
So
sense.
Lothar, Upior, and Wolford have continual light amulets. I'm adding it to the quartermaster.
And as a reminder to John and everyone else, we picked amulets so that, like a hooded lantern, you could clasp them closed and seal off the light. Not that it matters right now because your light's invisible, but just so you know.
Right.
For the lockets, you mean? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, lockets. Sorry, I meant lockets, not amulets. My bad. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, I call it amulet. I should change that to locket. You're right.
Upior is still levitating using his boots of levitation. Elizabeth is still a dolphin, and you have retreated back to the northern dock, and that is where we are now. You've avoided some centipedes on your descent down the cliff face using the goop, but you, as Upior noted, there was. And you can all hear like multiple sounds of like predators and prey doing their thing out there in the wilds. Once in a while you see like a mushroom sort of shake. You can hear the constant humming of insects. And this was something I wanted to clarify as well. I can't remember if I said this last episode, but let me just clarify. On the map there in Miro, you can see on the western side of the lake, I have an indication of a passageway leading west, and it's about 10 feet up. You see that?
Right. Yeah.
So,
I see.
give me 1 second.
We
That
saw
is,
it, but didn't act on it. Is that it?
huh?
We saw it, but we haven't done anything with it.
Yeah, I don't know if I noted it to you, but you definitely would have seen it. Like Elizabeth and Upior definitely would have seen it. In fact, all of you on the northern dock, I mean, it's only 30 feet away. So anyone who has light would be able to see this as well. So it's 10 feet. So it's all like that rock wall in the western is all rock, and there's water that goes right up to it, right? However, 10 feet up above that water level is a 10-foot wide opening natural in the western wall. Okay.
Right.
So there is no passageway that you can walk to it, but there is an opening there. Yeah, you don't see or hear anything come out of it. It just seems to be like a black hole, like 10 foot wide, rough. Okay.
Before we
And,
get into adventuring,
I just wanted to clarify, John. So the northwest sort of corner of this lake, that's water going into the cliff wall.
Yes, that's correct. So yeah, there's
It's flowing out from there.
Yeah, it's flowing out, and the current pulls towards the east. And you can see there here, if you look at my cursor, that is the waterfall that goes down. So there's a waterfall that goes down for 25 feet down there. Okay. So all of this right here is all water, but it's a further 25 feet down. Okay.
And John, is it open to the area that we're in, or does it just go into an underground tunnel?
What's that?
This water that you're describing, which goes 25 feet down, like we can see this body of water with its little island and all the rest of that, or did it go underground and we can't see it anymore?
No, I'm actually giving you that. Like, you actually wouldn't be able to see any of that.
No,
right?
I understand.
Because even Upior up high, like, it hasn't like explored in that direction. It would just look like darkness because there's no mushrooms down there.
Before we get deep in, I have to roll HP because I turned level 6.
Oh yeah, explain to me, how did you turn? How did you level up?
Level up, but you told me I got enough XP at the end of last session to level up, and I leveled up. What do you mean?
No. Yeah, sorry. I thought that we were
that wasn't meant that to sound like a smartass. I'm confused. What
you got enough XP, but you still need to rest.
Correct. True.
Right. So you're still level 5.
Yeah, same for Barrios. Actually,
I didn't think that through. Actually, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can he sleep while he's floating up there? Because that would just make this very easy.
Technically, the boots are on. I can take a great nap.
Yeah, so you got to find an excuse to rest. You don't have to be in a safe haven, but you do have to rest before you get in the level.
Matt, you just gave me an extraordinary camping idea. By the way,
you're welcome.
We need to label the lake again. Someone got rid of the its given name of Bagel Lake.
Oh, yeah. Mythic Bagel Lake.
One other comment I would add, whether it's helpful for us or not, but we know that the cliff is 50 feet, right? We know that the westerly hole in the wall is 10 feet up, so there's a 40-foot discrepancy between the two. I suspect that there may be up the river against the current another waterfall, and that the cave systems that I found might bridge to the hole in the wall we saw at that 10-foot mark. So I think there's probably several things out in that area.
I wish we could have you waft over there so that you could get a good smell of the air and see if it's like baboons stink,
I mean, Elizabeth could swim over to the base of it, and I would be looking right into the mouth. Yeah.
It's on the way. Just a reminder, she would say in Dolphin, so you wouldn't understand it, that, at the last cave like this, there was a guy poised and ready to strike out and have a wizard sandwich.
Yeah. He's an educated man. He speaks Dolphin for sure. And he's also muted. So now we can say new things.
Hey, no, of course. I'm not going to, what I would do is similarly ascend above the height of that entrance and look kind of like precariously. But even so, I could be 20 feet away and have light, peek into it.
So, I mean, if you give like little tugs on the rope that mean kind of stop for a second, she'll stop while you look in.
Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah,
I think we should.
Okay.
We're about what, like 20, 30 feet away from it?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be closer? Okay.
I'll be 10 feet away. I'll be okay. I'll give it 10 feet so I can see 20 feet in, hopefully.
Okay, so so you float over and you cautiously sort of look in there. As your continual light locket with Braktar's effect, I understand, is shining in there. It actually glints. It actually reflects off of a whole bunch of stuff in there. Like, it's much different than what you expected, at least from the hard rock of the lizard caves. There is a quite large. It's probably about like a 10-foot wide passageway that goes west, but then it quickly opens up to a very large chamber. You're not going to be able to get the full breadth of it with your vision, but it just goes as far as the eye can see towards the west. All natural, but what it's glinting off of is hundreds of crisscross massive beams of selenite gypsum. So it's like a purplish reddish, like crystals, like they kind of like jaggedly out and kind of crisscross in like geometric fashion, naturally, but they're like all over the walls and the ceiling and everything, right? The whole cave is sort of cluttered with that. You can also feel like there is extremely humid and hot air that is kind of billowing out of that cave as well. Like you can feel the heat kind of coming out of it.
When you say hot, like a volcanic vent hot, like is it face melting, or is it just a warmer than expected sort of?
Warmer than expected. You could easily kind of be in there. You would just start sweating immediately.
Okay, it's a sauna. I love it. Cool.
Some of those beams of gypsum are like 3 feet in diameter and over 25 feet long, like massive things.
Nothing looks worked as far as I can tell, though. It's all naturally shaped. There's no
all naturally shaped, and I should be clear too that the floor also has this. So like like when you break open a rock that's a geode and you can and it's just kind of coated with the crystals. Just picture that like this is like the same thing but on a massive scale. So you can immediately see that if you would manage to be able to propel yourself horizontally, would be able to sort of float right down the middle of that thing. You know what I mean? In that open air pocket in the middle of it, but anyone else would have a very difficult time traversing it.
What I'm hearing we can open one of those mineralogy places at the mall now. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, man.
Hey, they're profitable.
Rain sticks and geodes.
Yeah,
You got it.
Great.
What do you got, man?
John, are there lips and teeth at the top and bottom of this opening of this cave?
Your mind quickly goes there, Upior, when you look at it. And once again, we have the reference to the asteroid in Empire Strikes Back.
I love it. Do I feel any wind current?
Yes.
Or
You do.
you said it was actually blowing hot air, not just that it was a temperature.
Not like a fan, but there is a current of air coming out of there. Yes.
And do I hear anything if I get real extra quiet?
Nope. You don't hear anything from there. Off in the distance towards the southern shore. You know how you were sort of hyper aware of things sort of on the ceiling and you had seen like crawling, insects and things like that. You do hear like down the rock wall, like south along the lake there, a disturbingly large buzzing
along the southerly shore around like the near the wall. You're saying?
Yeah. Around there, you kind of hear it in the air. It is above you. There seems to be multiple, and the sound, although magnified, so it's kind of difficult to tell because it's echoing, definitely drowns out some of the more ambient buzzing sounds of flittering moths and things like that. And you're, that's basically it.
Is David basically out of the range of our goop torch because of where he's at?
The torch has a 30-foot radius, so he would be like right at the extent of it.
Maybe he should come back to the dock, and we should travel across the lake on the boat together. But then the wafting of the fumes will get him.
Yep.
Yeah. So one quick thing, John, while he was like peeking in that cave, Lisbeth would, using her echolocation as a dolphin, check out the bottom of that cave. Like often if there's like something living in there, is there like garbage, detritus, bones?
The lake
along. Well, the lake. I mean, she's in the lake, but she's checking out that area outside of that cave. So if something was in there throwing out its garbage or spitting out bones or whatever.
Oh, I understand. Right. Yeah.
It would be like,
you're not pinging it. You're not pinging anything.
And also just for general safety of the group, the crabs that we saw, are there, when she like focuses down along the bottom of the lake, are there a lot of those crabs around? Or are they just kind of scattered?
You're right now. You're not. What should I say? I don't know how. First of all, I don't know how echolocation exactly works. The exact science, but I don't think that. I think it bounces off the presence of objects, right? I don't think it like identifies those objects necessarily. I think it would identify something that's moving. And you can definitely tell that there is something large under the water that is moving just to the west of the island.
A good analogy would be fishing sonar, I think, if anyone's a redneck like me, right? It gives you the shape of an object. So if there's, for instance, a sunken a rowboat down there, you would be able to discern the edges of it, and presumably with Elizabeth's intelligence, know that that was a rowboat shape.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Does that make sense to you, John?
Yeah.
By the way, you should look and see in the pathway of where people would usually traverse if there is indeed shipwreckage or skeletons or like that. I think would be a good idea. Okay,
and I mean, especially for things like crabs. I mean, dolphins. I looked it up because I'm temporarily one. They use their echolocation to find prey. So things like crabs and fish and moving things, like you were saying, I think it would make a lot of sense that she would see stuff like that. But she would kind of note the proximity of the large thing by the Crab Island, and kind of stay closer to the wall there.
It seems to be
pull the boat a little closer.
It doesn't have like a video game like NPC AI, like where it's on a set path, but it generally seems to be hunting in the western portion of the lake.
Matt, I don't want to give you two. Oh, sorry.
Is this something on the ground on the floor of the lake, John, or is it something swimming?
Swimming.
Okay.
That's not good.
A couple things.
It seems to be a crab.
Oh, it's a crab.
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple other
Big
things
crab.
I would just pitch, Matt, not to backseat drive too much, but just occurs to me. Things often fall off the side of a dock. So either of the docks could have stuff under them.
No,
fish tend to. Oh, no.
It's just, like the only thing of interest on this portion of the lake is that crab that is swimming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, I think we should just cross the lake. We want to get the exit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do this.
So we want to avoid the temptation cave.
Yeah.
The cave of temptation crystals.
If we're not going to raid the tomb of Ptarmis, we shouldn't raid the crystal cave either.
Yeah, we should come back after we find the exit. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So she'll continue pulling the boat, mindful of the crab. She'll pull it over to the northern dock so everybody can get on board.
Okay.
One thing, Wolford wants to do this. He's a little nervous that we're getting now into this area where we suspect that if the beastmen fled, that's where they might be. And he's carrying this ginormous claymore sword that he wants to be able to, either try to obscure a little bit. It's way too big to hide in his pack, too big to do much of anything with, but he's going to pull out of the sack just a big blanket so that he can at least wrap the sword around, wrap that around the sword. He's not going to do it now just in case they need it while they're crossing the lake. But as soon as they get to the southern dock, he's going to like wrap that up and then kind of like tie it to the back. So it won't be accessible, but it'll at least be obscured.
Okay. Yeah. Just so it's clear, like if combat breaks out, that it'll be very difficult to kind of make that something that you can wield. Right.
Yeah. He's got other stuff. He's good.
Cool. Yeah.
I would like to say, as we approach the southern dock, I think Barrios should be the first off and immediately see if he can pick up the trail of the LRCP. Because he's got tracking. It's only a 40%, but you never know. But before anybody tromps all over the footprints and so on, like clearly the last people over on this dock were the LRCP. So he can try and track them as soon as we get off the boat.
Did we ask Barrios if he had been in the side caves, for instance?
Yeah.
We did.
He only has gone as far as the cage.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought so. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So you pile into the boat and you start to cross. There's 2 oars. Now, Lisbeth can immediately tell that the crab is aware of your presence there. And it as you're carefully kind of towing, or you're not towing, I mean, you're using the oars as well to kind of, well, does Lisbeth stay a dolphin?
Well, she is going to stay a dolphin, but as Wolford's getting in that boat, he's going to take out that 6-inch magical fish rod thing that we have and just look all over the boat to see if there's any place where it would make sense that you could like plug this in or install this. This
There is
was
It looks like a plain old
okay.
boat.
All right. So she's going to stay a dolphin so that she can pull us so that the boat will go faster. And given the crab, guys, do you want to just loop around the eastern side of that island and stay out of his hunting zone, or do you want to do the straight shot down and take our chances?
I'm fine going east, but we should look at this little alcove on the way.
I don't think we should go east on the possibility that the current could take us over that falls.
We got a dolphin pulling and oars. I think we'd be.
But, you asked me. That's what my answer was.
I would Mike, what do you think, Mike?
Damn.
East or west?
I think avoiding the crab is a really, really good idea. And I love David's idea about checking out the alcove.
Okay. So screw you, Ted. We're going to go east.
Okay. Into the area where you haven't scanned it, and there could be 4 crabs that you don't know about.
Sure.
I will say over there the first time. Yeah.
I will say I'll say out of nervous terror, dolphins can swim against ocean currents, which are pretty strong. So I don't know if there was any DM listening. I mean, maybe the dolphin's pretty strong. I don't know.
So where are you investigating?
We're gonna take the boat around the eastern side of Crab Island to try to stay out of the big crab's hunting zone.
So the only visible light that the crab or possibly crabs could see would be Lothar's torch. Is that correct?
No, correct.
Unless they come in within 20 feet.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So the crab that's in the water does approach the boat, and but it tends to shy away once it comes within the range of the not only Lothar's torch, but the Bacteros effect lockets, which cease to function within 20 feet, right? And it seems to shy away from that, and it sort of swims away, and it crawls up onto the island with its companion, and both of those crabs, as you guys sort of row your way past the island, they just sort of like clack, 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 like doing that sort of like very defensive sort of dance, like back and forth, like you know, but they're huge, like 5 foot sort of things, you know.
You guys sure you don't want me to knock a stalactite on one of them?
No, but I'm starting to think Lothar's Crab Shack is like a great idea to come down here.
They're
open a restaurant down here, baby.
And as you kind of pass by slowly,
slowly
rolling by the island, you can see those piles, several skeletons on the sand of the island, thin coating of sand, some few piles of rusting metal, and a couple of things glinting in the light of your locket as well, of course. Right behind the 2 giant crabs that are watching your every move.
Well, I do have 2 more mass charms, gentlemen. So if we want to have crabs on our side as well, I could cast number 2 on these 2.
Number 2?
I could do number 2 on these crabs. Yeah. I think we should at least have 1 on the ready in case of an emergency, but I could either reserve it in case some bees try to attack us, for instance, or use it on the crabs. But I think we can do the crabs later, per Ted's point. Maybe get to the first. Mm-hmm. I will say one thing. As Ted noted, John, there's a little alcove here. If y'all don't mind us breezing by it just to get a glimpse of it, I think that's smart. I also want to ask everyone, the dock is the obvious landing point, but there is a shore here, John. Is there any elevation on this shore, on the southerly shore?
No.
Or is it just beach?
But the mushrooms go like right up to it. Yeah.
Right. Is there any reason we would want to land in a non-obvious place? Or we just go straight to the dock?
I don't want to go wandering into the mushroom forest, straight out the beach. That feels bad.
Sounds good to me.
What you can probably count on with the dock is that there are probably beastmen paths directly leading from the dock.
Exactly. We don't want to go
what we want.
One other thing, again, not trying to be difficult. We know that the circumference of the entire cave has a 5-foot path on it. So if we were to exit out right on this most easterly point, theoretically, there's a 5-foot little gap there. If it's true on the southerly shore as it is on the northerly shore. Not that we should do that, but just so it's in our mind, you know.
Well, now that might be interesting because I have a feeling that the LRCP are either in that rectangular structure or they're behind that big wall.
That's my guess too.
It would be hilarious to come up behind them
Right.
And again, I can see them before they see us. So y'all being below me in that juncture would allow me to sort of like say, "Oh, don't go in front of that little hole in the wall. Another lizard will get you," etc. But
Let's check that out.
Barrios does not have night vision, correct? Or dark vision?
Who?
Barrios.
Barrios does have infravision.
So, David, they actually will be able to see you.
well, infravision. What's the distance on that?
60 feet.
60 feet.
Yeah.
60 feet. So I'd have to be 80 feet up in the air. But I can be 80 feet. I have 200 feet of rope. I can be 80 feet up out of their vision.
Well, what are you seeing? What are you seeing
is
if you're
60 to 80
up?
feet. Though. What's that?
What are you seeing if you're 80 feet up?
I'm seeing below because there's a completely illuminated ground by the fungus. So the beauty is they're all lit and I'm not if I'm up beyond their vision. So if I'm 65 feet up in the air,
yeah,
I'm out of that's the in theory. I'm not trying to overly convolute this. I'm just saying that is an option, right? Like,
yeah. I would just, obviously, like, it's a great idea, and I see permutations where it doesn't work, but let's try it.
Let's see what's in the alcove spot first, and then see if there even is a 5-foot gap.
Okay, so you're going with the current, so you move past the island pretty quickly. Now you can hear the rush of the waterfall. Now it's a little waterfall, like it goes 25 feet down, right? But it echoes in the chamber, so you could definitely hear it and see it, and you can see it sort of dips over into a narrow chasm that's shaded in darkness. You kind of skirt over to the right side. The crabs are like following you all around, and you slip into this little alcove here, and you can see that at the far eastern end of it, that it actually continues. The water actually continues into a small like grotto, about 10 feet wide to the east, where the cave wall sort of becomes like only like 10 feet above the water. Right, 10 feet above your skiff. Now you have to, the current will naturally take you in there. You don't have to go in there if you don't want.
do you guys want to sit at the mouth and throw a torch in and see what you see? We have some spare normie torches, right?
Well, also, Lisbeth can go in and kind of take a peek. How deep
That's
is
true.
that water in there, right?
It's the same depth as everything else.
Okay,
Do it,
yeah,
Matt.
she'll just kind of like peek in and do a few echo clicks to see what's in the grotto, man. What's in the grotto?
All right, so a couple of things in here. So first of all, is that there is a let's see, the ceiling is only about 10 feet up above, but in that ceiling, at the far end of it, there is a 4-foot radius hole in the ceiling, natural, that leads directly upwards.
10 feet in, or
like at the far eastern end of the thing,
right on how deep does it go?
about 10 feet.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what we got to do, boys.
And
Hell yeah.
in addition, Lisbeth can see as a dolphin that there is actually a rickety skiff that appears to be very much disused, that is tied to the cave wall here.
Huh.
All right, much like, see, I've seen a lot less use, or at least not in some time, compared to the other skiffs that you have seen, and it is fairly evident that due to the condition of one of the, is it gunnel, Mike?
Yeah.
Gunnel, I said that right? Yeah.
Yep.
That something heavy was heaved over one gunnel, and like there's broken boards basically on one side. Now that is confirmed, thanks to Elizabeth being a dolphin, that there is a chest in the bottom of the grotto. A fairly large chest. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna throw a couple things out real quick. We should look at the chest.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I also think, Mort, if I could borrow your invisibility ring, after we do so, I should go invisible and just go up a little bit. Not all the way, maybe, but just to see if it leads anywhere or if it's just really, really long, and then come back and report in. Does that make sense to you guys?
It's about
The
40
penitent
feet
man
deep.
kneels
Matt.
before God, David. The penitent man kneels before God.
But Elizabeth should take the lead first. I'm just saying, that's my thought process.
Yeah. So yeah, she's gonna see if she can like bottlenose that chest open. Right.
Okay,
Just
so
kinda like
yeah, so you dive down 40 feet,
Don't open it down there, Matt.
Oh, actually, it looks like it actually does rise a little bit. So it actually is only 20 feet down. So this grotto is not as deep as
what
the
if
rest
there's
of
stuff in there that does not like water? What if it's actually like a water sealed, chest? I mean, chances are low, but I mean, if there's a handle on it, try and get a rope through the handle.
Just let me give you the description first.
You're excited, John. We're excited.
When you get down there, you can see that it is a large, but it is a wooden chest. Okay, it has iron clasp and all that kind of stuff, and it is closed, but it is wooden, and it appears to be obviously sodden and deteriorated and all that sort of stuff.
Okay, so yeah, if there was anything sensitive to moisture, then it's already wet. So yeah, she's gonna bonk it with her dolphin nose and flap it with her dolphin fins and see if she can get it open.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say a turn passes. By the way. Let's see. Actually, we'll call it 2 turns since the start.
Why don't you wild shape into a giant otter? And you can just...
All right, I already did my mammal for the day.
That means that Lothar's torch is out.
John, I will light... Do you guys think we need another goop torch? We're not going to worry about centipedes here in the water.
Out in the lake.
I would wait till we're outside. Yeah.
Just use your locket.
Okay.
You're just using the locket?
Just use the locket, John, but... The plan is to light another goop torch when we hit land.
Okay. I'm going to say that because the frailty of the chest, that just bonking it with dolphin nose will open it up. Inside, it's hard for me to sort of describe. Like, I don't know how. Your senses are all weird because you can't see anything.
She would see like if there's metal stuff in there.
Yeah, but it's completely fucking dark. It's dark.
Hey guys, why don't we just row the boat in there and assist?
Yeah, and we can hold a locket in the water.
Yeah,
and it'll just fill the light.
Easy. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, probably give at least a little bit of illumination. That just makes it easier for me. So you open it up, and you can see that inside the chest there appears to be thousands of ancient silver pennies. Multiple thousands. Okay. Remember, an ancient silver penny is equal to 1 modern GP.
Cool.
Okay. There also appears to be a vial with some sort of liquid that appears to be undamaged, like it's still capped. And there is also a ring that glints in there as well.
Okay.
David has enough.
Let's see. Yeah, she would be a little wary about just touching random rings, but the vial seems good, and so she'll bite down gently on the vial to kind of bring it up.
Okay.
And communicate through dolphin sign language. There's more stuff down there. If necessary, she'd go down and bring up a mouthful of the coins as well, just to kind of show everybody.
Do we have anything for water breathing? Didn't we have a potion of water breathing or something like that?
We have a pearl that gives it to us, but we left it in the haven.
I thought somebody had it on them.
No, it's sitting in the haven.
So...
Well, no potions, right? We don't have a potion of water breathing because you're not going to be able to bring that stuff up, Matt, as a dolphin. I mean, we can always come back to it.
That's what I think.
All we have to do is guys. We can just fish out the ring for now. We have rope. We have twine. We can get a fishing hook.
Yeah.
I can dive down there if we want. There's something preventing us from at minimum getting the ring.
The potion, when you look at it, actually looks like, when you did something good in elementary school, they give you like a plastic bag with a goldfish in it. You know what I'm talking about? That's what it looks like, except it's a vial. So when you look at it, it's like a vial of clear water, or what looks like clear water, and there's like a tiny little goldfish in there that's swimming around.
Oh, that's cool.
I wonder if it's a water breathing potion.
Or some kind of fish. Yeah, that sounds
I'm
about
willing
like
to taste it and try it out.
You might turn into a half fish, half man.
Ooh.
What do you do, Mark?
The crabs in that case.
I'd like to get the ring.
Well, let's see what happens when Mort takes a sip from the potion, because it might solve our problem.
Do the little taste test.
Little taste. Okay. So when you taste it, it has a very distinctly salty taste. like salt water. And the rest of you can see that there is some sort of tension in Mort's neck, and you can see like just a couple of little slim, non-bleeding tears start to separate in the neck.
Yep. It's either water breathing or something that gives you gills in any case, right?
Yeah. Same death.
All right. I'm gonna push Mort into the water. I wouldn't do that to you, Ted.
So we can do this, right? Just to keep it clean. Like, I don't think we want to spend a lot of time like looting this and getting all the coins, but if somebody can give her a sack or something, then she can bring that down there and kind of bite around the ring to bring that. So there's some cloth.
If everyone else is afraid, Matt, I will drink the water breathing potion and go down with a sack and fill it.
It's 20 feet of water. We could dive that and hold our breath the entire 20 feet.
Yeah, but my question is like my concern is that something happens down there, and then whoever's down there getting treasure is suddenly drowning or having some other bad thing happen. So
we can take a giant fish hook out of the laurel sack, and Lisbeth can hold it in her mouth and hook the edge against the ring. It's a ring. That's all we're getting, right?
I'm not worried about the ring. I want all of it. I want all the treasure.
You want the coin right now? Oh, we're not going to be able to carry the coin anywhere right now.
There's still a lot of room left in Laurel's sack.
Yeah.
I
just don't think you want to open it underwater.
We could certainly take a sack down, fill it up, take it up, go back down, back and forth 2 or 3 times.
If we want to spend the time.
And just as we're going to this, Gosterick anyway as our plan, right? So you might as well have the money with us. And B, worst case scenario, well, not quite worst, but you get the idea. If we needed to just bribe the LRCP, be like, hey guys, sorry, here's 1,000 gold coins or whatever. Like, we could make a lot of friends that way in a bad situation.
Sorry, your kids are zombies. We killed them.
Yeah.
Do we want to? Okay, I totally get it. Do we want to hoist the chest in its entirety up with a grappling hook and a couple ropes?
I think that would be the best case scenario, but John, is it too decrepit to do that? Like, that's kind of like the worry, right?
No, I mean, I think the thing that we would do is as the dolphin, she can bring the hook down. I think we actually have 2. Wolford has one, and you have one, so we can hook both handles. Right, especially with the dolphin like guiding and putting the hook on the handles, we could get it up, and some will spill out, but we'd be able to get
a grappling hook. So if somebody else has a grappling hook, we can probably just do that.
Yeah, Wolford has
on the sides. Okay,
yeah.
Does it have handles on the sides, John?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are trying to avoid using the potion so we can have it later.
Yeah, I don't mind using it and going down there and overseeing the operation. I'm a manager, that's what I do. I manage.
all I would say is if things go really terribly, quaffing that and jumping into the water to escape the LLRC as they shoot arrows at us might be the only thing that keeps one of you surviving. So it seems like a waste to drink the potion to get the chest it was in.
Because we already have the dolphin down there that can do it. So
exactly.
If you guys are in, she'll hook the ropes.
Okay, it's going to take a turn to get that ready. Don't mind me.
Uh-oh.
John, while they're doing that, I'm going to do my thing, but let's, I guess, figure out one thing before the other. Just FYI for timing.
What's the other thing?
He wants to go up the hole.
I'm going to float up the hole.
Yeah, that's got to wait for a second.
I'm saying it away. I'm just letting you know time-wise.
Yeah. So you rig the ropes. Now you're in a boat. You can immediately tell when you start to hoist the 2 sides that your boat just basically almost like capsizes. Okay. It's really heavy. There are thousands of coins in there. Okay, so it looks like you could probably distribute your weight a little bit more to do your best to get it up, but it is likely that you will lose a great deal of coins. Like I would roll like a random thing, and it would be a great amount.
All right, let's get these coins on the way back, man.
I agree. Let's get them on the way back.
We've got money.
We can do this. We just got to use the potion.
Can I just put this out there? We are incredibly rich, and the only immediately valuable thing to us is the magical ring. We have so much money that we do nothing with but sit on, that getting more money to sit on doesn't advance our experience in any way right now.
David, your socialist is showing, man. The whole point is to get rich.
Goblin wants, goblin gets.
Well, it does directly translate into XP.
Of course.
So my point here is what I wanted, raising my hand, is what we are doing is we are working against the buoyancy of the boat. What we need is to drive spikes into the wall and hoist that way so that you're not putting leverage on the side of the boat. So if the wizard perhaps floats up, drives some spikes in very firmly, runs the rope through that, we should be able to hoist like that.
I will do that. In fact, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I'll do that. So why don't I drive, just to keep it extra stable, I'll drive 3 spikes. So we have 3
mark off the spikes. I understand the plan. So it'll take a turn to do that. Just mark off the spikes from inventory. Okay. So you, it also, that rings through the environment. Ding, ding, ding. As you kind of pound that in.
Do you want me to do silence?
Yes. Use it. I don't.
Use it now or use it against
so convoluted.
Use it now or use it against the spellcaster?
Wait, so I stopped talking?
I didn't say it, man, but I was.
Does anyone actually have spikes?
I bought a whole pack of spikes.
Oh, okay, good.
Because I'm a good Boy Scout. All right.
Okay. We could probably handle some sound. It's,
Okay. Yeah, it makes some noise. It's fine.
Guys, the whole thing is we're trying not to run into Dano. That was our principal concern while coming into here.
The first thing we're going to do
we're gonna risk getting robbed by making noise, getting the thing we're afraid of getting robbed on. We're going to run to the other side of the lake instead of just doing it afterwards.
Okay, use the silence.
I'm going to throw one more thing out there. Sorry. If we successfully go to Gosrick, we will have a rug, and we can come back with a rug and teleport the chests in one move from down there and never have to do any hoisting.
Come on. We use it
underwater. How are you going to use the rug underwater, dude? You got to speak the command word.
You're going to make a mess.
Well, here's what I'll do. We'll go to Gosrick. I'll teleport to our haven. I'll get the Pearl of Water Breathing. I'll teleport right back. We will walk back from Gosrick. I will go down there, and I will speak the command word just for you, Mike.
Fine. You know what? Every time you guys leave treasure behind to get later, my soul dies. Like, literally.
I know.
Absolutely.
Literally, I've created a Horcrux right now because...
Hold on. Are we just not doing the Pythons then? Pitons?
Yeah, because everyone's scared.
Okay, so I'll raise
the Pythons. Just do them. Let's just do them. Let's get the chest.
Silence. Just cast silence. It's this easy. If it's that important to you, Mike, use the spell that you want to use to get the treasure chest in the way that you want to do it. Cast silence on us real quick. But cast it on Lisbeth or something so it stays on a person and we can use it later.
Or the Pythons. Cast it on the
Don't put it on the spellcaster. It's not
gonna true.
I'm just looking to see if I have a silence on one of these many scrolls that I have real quick. But yes, John, I will go ahead and use silence. I'll cast it for myself. I don't have a scroll for it.
Okay, so you're casting it on Elizabeth as a person?
No, I'm going to cast it on the area where we're driving the Pythons.
Put it on the Python because then we can take it with us and throw it at spellcaster.
Ooh, smart.
That's a great idea. I cast it on a Python.
1 second, please.
Oh, we could throw a Python down. I could float above. Oh, that's a great idea.
We can't do that. It has to be a person or a place, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, cast it
if we
on,
draw a face on the Python?
Cast it on our furry friend. I don't know.
Our furry friend.
Just use it in the grotto. Let's just make a decision and move on, please.
Okay.
Right,
cast it on the area where the Pythons are going, John.
Cast on Wolford. Wolford's fine. He's not a caster. Cast on Wolford. He'll be within range. We're good.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so you cast it on Wolford. And then you nail in the Pythons, and you hoist up the chest as carefully as you can. And I'm going to say in order to be extra careful, it is going to take an extra turn, assuming you're being extra careful, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And everything happens in complete and utter silence as you slowly reach this chest up. And do you haul it? The only place to really haul it is into the boat.
Yeah.
Okay. It significantly displaces more water. Like the boat sinks like a great deal more into the water. You have a feeling that if any sort of hullabaloo should happen while you're in the boat, that the chances of capsizing are extremely high. While this is in there, and it is impossible right now to assess the amount of money that is in that chest. I usually give you the amounts, but that's usually because you're on stable ground and have the time to count. But you have to tell me like you're going to take the time.
To lighten the boat, John, and it would be very obviously tippy like that. As soon as it's up there, can we just start shoveling the stuff into Laryl sack that the
how many slots do you have left in this sack?
The only thing in there is there's like one thing in there, right?
No, we got a couple. We got a couple things in there.
What's that?
No, don't list what's in there. I just need to know how many slots are left.
That's why I'm trying to find my notes here on that.
Okay, you know what? This is actually a good place to take a break, and we'll let people do some math while we're taking a break.
And then come back. Okay.
And we will be right back. Okay, we are back. Bladders empty, beers full. So we have determined that there were 36 slots remaining free in the Laryl sack. Is that correct, Ted?
That is what I calculate.
Okay, so when you're shoveling as much of those ancient silver pennies as you possibly can in, you fill up the entire sack with at least 3,600 silver pennies, ancient silver pennies, and you can still see that there is way more. Like there's like probably about 150% more coins still in the chest left. There's a lot. So the boat is still very, very deep in the water, and there's a lot of coins, but you are full up.
Is it more stable at this point, John?
Stable? The boat?
Like the boat.
Yeah, it's a little bit higher in the water, but I'm still saying there's a danger of caps.
Still risky.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we get the ring, we get the vial, we get 3,600 coins, and so what you're saying is there's something like 4,000 or 5,000 more coins in there.
I'm not going to give you any numbers because you would have to tell me that you're taking 150%.
So I'm vaguely 3,600.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah.
Guesstimating that there's probably close to 5,000 more coins right there.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, dude. I'm wondering if the better part of Valor is since we obviously can't get all of them, is to put the rest of them back down in the water.
Mike, giving away treasure?
Hold on.
I don't like it. What? I don't like it. Hey, I got what I want. I got a lot of money, and I just don't think there is no way physically for us to carry the rest, right? So at that point,
you can row. You can row.
We can row.
I'm just saying it's dangerous. That's all.
I will offer one other option, though it may be something we want to reserve for later. I memorized Enlarge, which I can cast on our boat, which would significantly increase its load because the gun will be much bigger. So the buoyancy would be less of a problem. But it would also make our footprint much larger sailing around. So,
guys, yeah, but then we still have just a shit ton of money like on the shore. You know,
I agree. So I don't think it's a bad idea to put it down there. I'm just saying if you're really concerned about leaving anything, that's an option.
Does anyone have a floating disc scroll?
No.
Oh.
Why don't we just, you know what? Let's just sink it back down. Our plan is to come back this way anyway. Sink the rest. We got stuff to go. We don't want to be overloaded anyway. So let's sink it back and go from there.
Okay. So I'll hand the ring to Upior before we're doing all this messing out the coins, so he can go up the hole while we're doing that.
Right. Okay.
So I'm going to trigger the friendly defense ring to be invisible while I levitate up the hole again with my continual light and Bacteris effect on.
Yeah, and Lisbeth has the other ring, so she'll like float up to the side of the boat, so she's like with everybody while she's blind, so that he can go invisible.
And so I don't think I'll need it, but I have 200 feet of rope, so there's a lot of rope to deal with.
So that's coiled in the base of the boat. Don't forget too that there is another boat that's right there. The damage, but there is one there. And what was I going to say? The ring that you pulled out of the chest is a slight. It's like a thin ring. It's made out of some sort of blue jewel. or stone or something like that, and it's carved in a way that it makes it looked like a sequence of waves all the way around the band.
Is there any inscription on it?
No.
You're up a hole. You can't see the ring. You're up a hole.
Upior, you rise up into through that 4 feet natural opening. Okay, the moment that you sort of like move your head up into the opening, you are assaulted by an absolutely like ferocious stench of dung. Okay,
Ew.
I need you to make me a save versus poison, please.
Oh my. That's like you just hit the bathroom at Nick Tahoe's in Rochester.
Well, can I ask one question? There's no evidence of shit splattered all over this grotto since we're in a toilet, clearly.
It's directly over the water.
A bunch of fecal matter in the water. No, nothing. Okay. All right.
He just floated up the bottom of the porta potty.
I think we're gonna. This might go all the way up to the palace, gang.
This might go all the way up to something
This is
Zanus.
the gorilla poop hole, man.
Look, all I know is I'm trying to recreate a latrine of incident to take out all of the royalty of Article. Let me look up what I need to roll. Sorry. Okay, D20. I haven't done a save in ages. What is my poison?
Well,
11. Okay. I rolled a 4.
wow.
Okay, so like you reel from like the stench. Okay, as you sort of rise up, you're just like, Jesus Christ, what is that? And you're using you have the open locket, right, with the Bacterios effect.
Yeah.
Okay. You emerge. Your head sort of emerges after about, let's see. Give me a second here.
An invisible head.
About 10 feet.
Invisible.
It's like that, so, yeah, I know. Yeah, invisible. Yeah, about 10 feet is about the length of like this sort of hole before you sort of emerge, and you find yourself in a natural cavern, however devoid of water. Okay, and you are on the very southern end of what is roughly a 40-foot north to south by at its widest in the middle about 30 feet east to west, and you are in the southern tip of it. It narrows and tapers at the very northern end to lead to a natural exit that's only about 5 feet wide.
Is there any light emanating from that exit?
Ted, the room is like directly over the hole. He's in the southern
Yeah, I'm
end.
doing this.
Oh, you're like a cutout. Yeah, I got
side.
you. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, about 10 feet up. Now, when you kind of poke your head in, you can see it's completely dark in here. But you can hear all around you that buzzing and flapping that you heard from a distance on the western end of the lake. Okay. And you can see floating off in the distance, like you can see like illuminated by your Bacterios effect, but not. So it's within that span like of 10 feet where they can't see you, but you can see them. Flitting amongst like the ceiling of the cave is over, like it appears to be around about a dozen sturges.
Yes.
All with proboscises, pointed and looking around. Now, they appear to be in a flutter. It's a good thing you cast that silent spell whenever you did the pitons, whatever, for one thing. But they do smell you, but they can't see you. They can't see you, okay? But they do have a very, very good sense of smell, all right? So it looks like, and your head is just sort of poked up, like right above. But it looks like they're sort of like in a titter, like all above you, and it's like that they're trying to focus their attention on where that smell is coming from, and they're probably going to attempt to approach that spot in general. Like they're going to get a massive penalty if they attack, because they're basically blind, but they do have enough of a bead that they know the general area.
Are they in a dense pack?
Yeah, kind of.
Spatially?
Yeah, relatively. There's like 12 of them, and they're kind of spread out over about 30 feet worth of ceiling.
Here's what I'm going to do, Joe. So stupid. Maybe I should. I think it's a good idea, but who knows? Hear me out, gang.
Do it.
Fireball.
I don't have a fireball. I have a lightning bolt.
Don't you wish you did?
I should be clear.
Here's
I
the
should be
thing.
clear too, just before you start spouting ideas, that you, because of your assault to the senses of the dung, that you are -2 to all combat rolls.
Sure. Okay. You know what, guys? I'm gonna keep this simple. I'm gonna cast Mass Charm.
Sweet.
I'll cast Mass Charm. Why not?
Okay.
Right? Why try to kill them all? I was gonna try to lightning bolt them and like channel them into a corner, but I got Mass Charm. I should just cast that. It's a 30 by 30 spell, right? Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. And they get saving throws, correct? Yes, because it's charm monster.
I got to look it up again. Sorry.
Yeah, I got it. I already have it. Okay, Sturges. That many hit dice. Give me one moment, please. Sorry.
Elizabeth is suddenly able to see.
Okay, so they need 16s or higher in order to save. I got to roll a whole bunch of dice. Give me a second.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
You could roll it as a swarm, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
You don't have that much blood anyway. I mean, once they like get their fill, they're gonna stop.
The plan is if this doesn't work, I'm going to go down. I'm going to shoot a lightning bolt up through the hole.
Wait for them to come after you.
That's what I'm saying. That's the plan, by the way.
So you have the iron circlet on. You have your iron circlet on, and you beam out the charm. This is your second one of the day, and you see that. Let's see. What is that? That would be 8. So 8 of them sort of arrest their flight a little bit and kind of focus in that general direction. They can't really pinpoint you exactly, but you can immediately tell that 8 of them have been charmed and 4 have not. But nothing really changes about their behavior. You know what I mean? Like they don't do anything differently, but you can easily tell that 8 of them have been affected.
I mean, you can't command them still.
I know, and
But they're probably not going
they-
to like immediately attack him because they're charmed.
Yeah,
they
but
can't. They
4
won't
are.
attack me. The question is whether they'll attack their friends being charmed, and I can't remember.
Okay, so at this point, David, because you did cast the spell, I give you that one as a freebie. We do have to roll initiative, though, before the ones that did not get charmed. So you can still, though, because we're going to enter combat, you can declare. So you're not melee, but if you want to declare a spell, you can.
So that was a surprise round, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna cast lightning bolt.
Cast a spell. Okay, cool. So roll initiative for me. I got a 6.
Damn it. 2.
A 2. Okay. So the 4 ones that were not affected, like they had no idea you did anything, right? But they're still going off like that sort of blood sense, like they can just kind of smell you. So they're going to go in your general direction. I'm treating them as if they're blind, which would normally give them a -6, but because they can sense your blood, like they can smell you, I'm going to drop that down to a -4. Okay. Does that sound fair?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what is your AC?
It's 10.
10. Okay. Oh,
Don't you have a shield? A ring that gives you shield?
I have a ring to cast shield from. Yes.
Okay. So here they go. They're attacking. Let's see. That's a -4. So, and you have a 10.
And I'm no longer invisible because I cast Mass Charm, and that's an offensive spell, I guess. Yeah. I didn't think about that. In my mind's eye, I was still invisible. Whoops.
Oh, because you cast Mass Charm.
It's technically, I know that's the question.
I thought invisibility went when you cast any spell. No,
I think it's only aggressions. It's only active aggression.
Oh,
It's charm and active aggression.
I'll give it to you for this.
oh,
So
nice.
let's see. What am I trying to do here? I'm not used to these super low ACs like this.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. So they need a. Gotcha. Okay, I got it. 1, 2, 3. Only 1 hits. As they kind of dive bomb that general area, but 1 plugs into you, and you're going to take 3 points of damage. And that one actually, so it kind of plunges down just blindly, and you're sort of trying to dip your head back down below, and it gets you like right in the neck, and the proboscis like just like enters right into your neck, and it just the whole thing just just attaches to you, right? It's just like on you. It's just the most horrid thing. It's just like weighty, and like the wings are like right there in your face, and it's like the proboscis is like right in your neck, and you can see out of your peripheral vision the proboscis sort of like swell as it just starts to suck blood out of your neck. And it's going to do 1d3 automatic damage per round while it is attached to you.
Too much body horror today.
Yeah.
So
not enough.
So John, when Lisbeth gets her vision back, which she would, right? Because he goes back and becomes visible again, right? She would absolutely alert the party. In fact, she would probably jump up, grab the rope, and use the weight of her body just to start pulling him straight down, right?
Okay.
To get him out of there.
Yeah, understood. But it is the bottom of the round, so Upior, what do you do?
Well, I have a question. Do the 8 charmed things attack their friends that are attacking me and intercede?
I mean, they would defend him, wouldn't they?
They would defend me because I've charmed them.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So what do they do? Or I guess spells first. Go ahead. Yeah.
They're on your turn because they're like your allies,
of course.
Right? So
Yeah,
if you want them to defend you first, you can, but I'm just asking you what you want to do.
Is your spell ruined because you got attacked?
Yes.
And hit?
Yes.
Yes. So I would try to receive. I would try to remove the promiscus from my neck and move southward or move down and hope that these things kill each other.
Grapple the
You're
stern.
getting yanked down.
Okay. So between all that kind of stuff, you get yanked down and we're out of combat. So you can't actually, because your spell was interrupted, is basically like you abort your action. So you're frantically trying to, as Lisbeth basically tries to pull you down. The charm sturges cover your retreat. And we'll say that, let's see, there's 8 of them. So let me roll. I'll roll 2d4. Actually, I'll give you a little bit of a bonus there instead of a d8. So half of the charmed ones actually attack viciously the one that's on your neck as you're pulled down, while the other half basically defends against the other ones. And let's see, 3. How many hit points do they have? Yeah, so 3 out of the 4 hit the sturge that attaches to your neck and basically kill that sturge. It falls off and plops into the water. The other, and those 4 are basically circle around your head as you are pulled back down. They angrily buzz as they witness the rest of the party.
I'm gonna float. I don't want to bring these things that I've charmed on you guys. Is the important thing. So you can't pull me down anymore. So I could just like untie the rope on my waist, I suppose.
Okay.
You can hear furious buzzing going on up above you, echoing past that hole in the ceiling.
I would untie the rope.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm not out of combat in this case because I would know well enough that I don't want to bring, because we learned this from the lizard situation, right? I don't want to bring the charmed sturges that I have down upon my allies.
Yeah, I understand. So there's a 10-foot tunnel that goes directly up, right? So you were pulled down that, and we're going to say like, you appear just at the bottom of the tunnel, and you're like, oh shit, those sturges could attack my buddies, and so you detach yourself. So you could basically be like on the ceiling of the grotto right now.
Yeah, I want to basically try to wait out a fight between the sturges. I want the 8v4 situation to come out in my favor, which would, one of them is dead, so now it's 8v3.
Yeah, okay. Right? So that happens.
That's my goal. Okay, so now there's only charmed sturges.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
I am going to roll, let's see. There was 4 versus 8. I'm going to roll a d6, and I'm going to say that on a 1 to 2, there are casualties on the charm side.
There should be casualties. That makes sense.
No casualties. So you have 8 charmed sturges that are above. They're in the other.
So I'm going to say down. Well, that almost went really bad, boys. The secessions up here. but I've charmed those that remain.
Turn goes
making
by.
friends everywhere.
Do you guys want me to look in this hall and come
Don't
back,
mind me.
or just come back now?
I've just come back now, David.
Okay.
How much damage did you take?
I have 9 out of 12 HP now.
Okay, come back down so I
got
can hit
tons.
you hit you with a cure light wounds.
Not while Wolford's around. You cast silence on Wolford.
Yes. So
I put
okay,
Wolford out of the
so
boat.
John, just for logistics reasons, because they're like swarming around me, I'm gonna go up just so they go back to their sort of lair. Wait a beat, because this. Don't forget, guys, this is happening over a 2-turn period while y'all are hauling coins. I'm gonna go up. Wait a beat so they kind of settle back down, kind of like the crocodile did, and then I'll come back down. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
While I'm up there, do I see anything in the light that I didn't see prior, John? Just in that
Let me
room?
Check. Not really. It's just it's a pretty it's just dung everywhere. Obviously like a sturge haven. But you did see that kind of tantalizing 5-foot gap in the northern section. Seems to lead further away.
I will return back and say, "Whoo," or pantomime it, I suppose, because of Wolford.
You look pale.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's actually true. So the sound you would have heard everything up in the Sturge cavern. You would have heard, but the moment like you passed into the grotto, everything would have gotten quiet.
Me or them? Because they wouldn't have heard anything because they're all within the silence cone. So
No,
they had no idea what
But
was
you can
going.
hear it coming in. You just can't.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
All right. So Sturges, we know it's up there. We've got 3,600 coins in a sack. We've lowered the remaining coins down to the bottom of the lake. I say we leave the pythons and the rope behind,
Yeah.
so it's easy to get next time.
Should we drop the rope into the water though, Ted, so no one coming by sees the rope dangling from a python down into the water, right, and gets curious? If we drop it into the water, then we could always have Elizabeth or someone with water breathing go down and grab it and come back up.
We could just do the rope wedged into a crevice at water level, so it's easy to grab.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
And let's get moving quick because while we have this silence, we should take advantage of it.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Okay, so you have
I'm going to retether myself to Wolford. I untied it earlier. I'm going to retether myself.
The silence lasts 12 turns, by the way, John, and that was probably cast at least 2 turns ago.
I've got it marked down.
Right.
Where do you go?
Well, let's go to the dock.
Or I thought we were going to try the 5. Check out that
just wanna
area right
see if
along the
it's
cliff
there,
to see
I
if
think.
there's the pathway. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you skirt
So we kinda go-
skirt the rock wall on the eastern side.
Yeah.
So you can see that as you get closer that you're meeting with a wall of mushrooms once again. There does appear to be, again, this is it's not a pathway. It's just a marked area of area, that can be walkable. It's not a deliberate pathway. That's my point. But yes,
I still think we should go back to the dock, but I'm glad to know that it's there.
Yes.
I'll follow your votes.
While we're rowing back to the dock, I want to try putting on that ring.
The new ring?
The blue one, yeah. I'm just going to put it on.
Okay, nothing happens. You don't feel anything happen to you.
I'm going to reach out and touch the water.
Yeah.
Okay. When you touch the water, nothing happens. Nothing happens when you touch water.
What if I haul my little feetses over the edge of the boat and set them on the water and try and splash around a little bit?
They cut through the water faster than you think they would.
Ooh.
All right.
What if you go in all the way? Will you be able to breathe? I push Morton off the boat.
I was just going to stick my head underwater and
Inhale.
Try to breathe.
well,
Take a big, deep breath. That's the only way to test it.
Why don't you do a little neti pot first?
just a little neti pot action, John. Just a
What does that
little.
mean?
Well, just sort of.
I don't know what that means either.
It's just a little sniff through the nose, and then I come up coughing and hacking, or I breathe water.
Do you attempt to breathe water? Like, do you
Yes, he does.
Basically,
Okay, so you're going to
but
take
not a deep breath.
you're going to take 2 points of damage as you suck in a lung full of water.
You know what? Applause to Ted. I appreciate it. That was awesome.
But I like the
Wolford
experimentation.
Just holds his head down under to make sure. Like 'cause sometimes, it's going to take a few rounds. No, okay.
Yeah.
I do have a recommendation, Ted. You can be our new motorboat. You're gonna kick that thing around, help Elizabeth out.
Okay, so
All
what
right,
do
so
you
we
do?
still got the ring of friendly defense.
I can give it back if you want.
Yeah, okay.
So what do you do?
All right. Go to the dock.
Go to the dock.
Okay. So
While they're doing this, John, I'm gonna go. Oh, sorry. Just so you know, I'm gonna ascend to about 60 feet if I can.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, you're gonna.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. When we land at the dock, don't forget I'm going to light a goop torch.
Okay.
And this is also where Wolford will wrap the big sword in the blanket and kind of strap it to his back so it's not visible and out. And he'll take out his spear, the black iron spear.
Okay. So it takes a turn to traverse to the dock, and you take care of all that stuff. Give me 1 second. And what number is that dock there? Okay. So.
You have to brush your teeth though.
So the southern dock appears to be very similar to the northern one. You guys scouted it out already, but as you step foot onto it, you can see that there are the 2 skiffs that are there, and they do show signs of recent usage.
All right, Barrios is going to get out and start tracking.
Okay, so Barrios can easily point out. You kind of feel like you probably would have seen it as well. And he kind of points and he's like, look here. And he kind of, points at his eyes and he points down on the ground and he's look. And he shows with his hands that the path, actually, there's 2 paths that split off here. One goes towards the southwest and one goes towards the southeast and seems to hug the lake relatively to sort of parallel the lake shore, about 5 feet in from the lake shore. So both paths are in the midst of mushrooms, but the eastern path is much more like paralleling the lake, while the southwestern one seems to dive deep into the forest. At this stage now, you are on the you're at the base of these mushrooms. So those promontories and that large structure that are in the dark beyond are basically hidden by the caps that are sort of right in your foreground. Do you understand?
Yep.
The only one that can see them would be Upior, who is 60 feet up, right? And Upior, your vision's still only 30 feet though. So yeah, they're still like in darkness, they're just dark shapes, the looming, but they're much bigger now in your vision, but you can't really.
So the bases of them are lit, but I can't see the top of them because of my vision limitation. Correct?
Yeah. And again, by lit, I just mean like little spots, right? Of orange caps,
Yeah.
You don't see, for example, a campfire lit anywhere or lantern light or anything like that.
No, and you can't even really make out the definitions of the darkness because they are sort of rising out of the darkness. They're just taking up much more of his vision because they're so close now. Right.
Of the 2 paths, John, which is it possible for Barrios to say, or Mort to say for that matter, which one had more traffic? And for like the southwest one, is it like directly southwest, or is it sort of maybe it could be going towards that big structure to the south?
So it looks like by the vector, let's say the path would be a straight line, which you know for a fact it won't be because it's going through a mushroom forest, right? But if it does go through a straight line, it would bypass that structure. It looks like it would likely either head directly or around the promontory to the west.
Okay. So one like that.
Yeah. Now, as far as Barrios being able to determine which one is more tracked, that would actually be a tracking roll.
All right. Is a 40% tracking? So
hold on, don't roll it yet because there's things. There's modifiers. That's the base chance. Yeah. So
base chance. Modify it, baby.
So soft or soft ground, which this is, gives a bonus. Size of the group gives a bonus. Let me just size this up real quick and do the math. 65%.
Okay.
Not
So I need a
bad.
65 or under on my dice, my real live actual dice, and I rolled a 20 exactly.
Ooh, very nice. Okay, so
Good
he can
job,
say with
Marios.
confidence. He can say with confidence. He goes, if you look here, and he looks. This is definitely the LRCP. Look at the footprints. They went east. At least the most recent tracks. They've used both, as you can see here, and he sort of points out like the lesser impressions of on the west, but the most recent is east.
Amazing.
Okay.
Do we think that they're trying to make an exit from there? They don't need an exit because they don't need the surface, right? So I don't know that that's necessarily a bonus for us to find them.
Yeah, I think we should avoid
It's
them.
good to know what to avoid, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice job.
That took a turn. Out of the so you're still getting the insects, the sounds of the forest, the dripping of the stalactites from the ceiling, all that kind of stuff as well. But there is a sharp sound that punctuates the darkness that kind of overrides everything, coming directly from the edge, the northern edge of that structure, that built structure in the darkness up above, about 30 feet up above you. You hear a sharp, maniacal laugh, like a ha ha ha, and it goes really quiet. It's very out of place and very odd.
Dad?
When I hear that, sorry.
For the record, so if we're at the dock and we're done Bagel Lake in it, then Elizabeth is contorts out of dolphin form, so she's on the shore ready with everybody else, and also her bark skin is over.
We need to load a goop torch, or did we do that?
I did one when we landed at the dock.
You did. Okay. David was trying to say something. Sorry, David. No? Okay. I think we should go southwest and try and work our way towards the structure. If we're going to leave, if we're looking for the exit, I think that's probably it.
Okay.
Trying to keep an eye to see if there's movement that follows that laughter.
Exactly.
A little disturbing.
All I was going to say is when I heard that, presumably I couldn't see anything either, John.
You cannot. You don't see anything, but you can immediately pinpoint where it is. In a couple seconds afterwards, like we'll say, like after Elizabeth turns back into human form, you hear that same voice. Definitely seems to be male. You hear a "to me."
Oh no!
So, if you can see my reticule, guys.
Yeah.
This is effectively 30 feet from the northwestern corner of the structure.
Yeah.
If we get there, I should be able to have visibility of the structure.
Now, that dotted line is not 100% accurate where it's going.
Best guess.
Do I have a sense, John, that there's a point on the path, if I can see a clearing, because I'm above it, right, that will take me close enough to see the top wall of the structure, east or west?
There's no clearing. It rises out of the mushroom forest. The mushrooms go right up to the edge of it.
No, I think
what clearing on the path that clefts through the mushrooms. I want to approximate as best I can, looking at the trajectories of those paths. If there's a point on that path where the person holding the balloon that is me standing, I would be 30 feet invisible range of that structure. In other words, because I have a 30-foot torch range, if I'm floating 30 feet high with a 30-foot torch range, I would see.
If you think the vector continues in the direction that it appears to be, which is impossible to tell, you could surmise that would likely be the case, but there's impossible to tell unless you go down the path.
I think we should do it.
Let's go.
West.
I think we're about to get ambushed personally. So I just want to throw that out there as well.
Yeah. So you're going west?
Sounds like
deep into the forest?
Well,
Yes.
that was my question, John.
On the path, yeah.
Is whether it seemed like east or west would get us closer to that spot, or if it's equally indiscernible. That's
equally
why I was
indiscernible.
asking.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
I mean, you're talking about having to go about 30 feet before you find out in either direction.
I know. It's not a big deal. Yeah, we should just do
Let's
it.
go west.
I just was All right, let's just go.
So west is what I'm hearing.
You're up. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Mort and Barrios will be in front. Barrios has his spear. Mort's ready with his shield up and everything.
Okay, so you carefully move down the path, very, very cautiously. Remember, you're moving about half movement rate, so you're moving 5 squares at a time. After about 3 of those squares, after about 30 feet moving through, and Upior is sort of floating above, like way up above, right? Upior, you can now make out what you're looking for. So so 30 feet down that path, you are now, if you go look 30 feet directly south, you can see the edge of the structure, right? So the structure itself, let's see, give me 1 second. Okay, it appears to be, it rises up, it's completely man-made. So it rises up at this end, the northern end, which is what you're looking at, which is only the only thing that you can see right now, right, is 30 feet up above the ground. Okay, it is made out of a dirty white. Let's see. Hold on. I'm sorry. A couple parts of this. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's marble, but it's made out of black marble. No. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. Reading this wrong. It's made out of a dirty white marble. Okay, that sort of rises out, and you can see that the edge of it is open to the sky, but along the northern edge, it is lined with a series of black marble pillars. That's what was confusing me. There's the structure is made out of white marble, dirty white marble, but there are freestanding black pillars made out of marble that sort of line the entire northern face of it. Okay, they rise up about 20 feet in the air, and they're relatively slim. They're about 2 feet wide. Okay, and you can see at the very edge of your vision, through that sort of fence of pillars, about 10 feet beyond, and directly in the center, is a massive chair that is bracketed on either side by 2 more of those pillars. And you're looking at the back of the chair, like the front actually faces south.
I love it. Okay. So, John.
And it's massive. The seat appears to be about 10 feet wide by 10 feet high. You're not sure how deep it actually is. And it seems to be, and what made you see it through the black pillars is the fact that it appears to be made out of some sort of reddish, like a dull reddish, rusty stone. So it stands out against like the white marble and the black pillars. Okay, and it's bracketed on either side by 2 pillars. Okay,
and again, the location. Sorry to ask again. The wall, for lack of a better description, is crenulated by a bunch of black pillars that go an additional 20 feet above the height of the wall. So
yeah, so there's like a sheer wall of marble that goes 30 feet straight up. Then standing atop a flat surface is 20-foot tall black pillars that are only 2 feet wide that dot the front. So there's about
40, one might say. Could we call it the Hall of 40 pillars? Okay,
there's about 8 pillars that dot the northern side. Okay, right beyond those, south of it, about 10 feet, is a 10-foot wide chair, like a throne of some sort, made out of some sort of reddish stone that is directly in the center. Okay.
Guys,
facing south.
3 jerks on the rope mean pull me as fast as you can.
Okay.
Right.
Hey, before we do this, should we take our second break?
Yes, it is time for a second break. We will be right back. All right, we are back. Bladders empty, beers full. So at the same time, Upior, that you are sort of witnessing this weird thing that's sort of popping up out of the fungal forest, when you turn around in the same spot, okay, you also see something else that's interesting. About 20 feet below you, so 40 feet above the ground. Okay, about 20 feet down from the southwestern edge of the lake, there appears to be about a 15-foot wide opening, a cave, up above the ground. So it's about 40 feet up, right? So there's no way your compatriots would ever be able to see it.
So, is it about where I'm looking right here?
Like there?
Right about there, yes. It's about 15 feet wide. Okay, a large opening.
40 feet up, you said?
Yeah. As you are contemplating like what you're going to do about this man-made or civilization-made structure of some sort on the south, you hear the same thing that you heard twice before, and you actually see in the darkness, kind of buzzing out like X-wing style from a Star Destroyer, a bunch of sturges sort of float out and sort of disappear into the stalactites around you. And you can kind of hear them hunting, right? It is, they kind of float out like TIE fighters, and they sort of move up and into the stalactites up above you, sort of like right on your level. You can easily discern that they will be able to scent you solitarily, kind of like floating around in their hunting grounds up there. In no time, it's very dangerous.
Question:
Do you give this?
Did the goop torch keep away sturges too, or was it just centipedes?
You don't know.
But it is an obvious thing. We should reel him in and get him within the range of the torch.
Yeah. Do you give the signal tug? Because we can. Okay, we reel in the floaty whiz.
We're gonna have to just do this on foot, I think.
Upior, as you slowly sink down. I should also clarify too. I was a little bit wrong about the sheerness of the structure. It is sheer, like it is like marble, but it is slightly sloped. Okay, it has a slight grade to it. Okay, deliberately carved that way. And the reason you notice this is as you sort of sink below the level of the mushrooms and sort of rejoin your friends, you actually see some of those mushrooms in the distance start to haul their way up the side of the marble upwards towards where that voice had called out.
To me.
Appears to be about maybe 4 or 5 of them in seemingly random areas of that face, sort of attach themselves and sort of with their Gumby-like limbs crawl up.
Gumby.
Okay. And all of you now can kind of hear the angry buzzing of sturges in the air. Every once in a while, you see something dark sort of pass over the mushroom cast, but in general, you sort of have like cover of mushroom. You have like foliage cover. That's all mushrooms.
Okay,
man.
I'd say we keep going down the path, guys. Keep moving.
It was the first thing we fought? Was
silence is still on, right? Yeah.
Was
it was really early.
The first thing we fought in Arden Vul?
Yes.
Ironic if it would be the last.
Oh. Full circle.
Okay, so what is your plan? Are you continuing on the southwest path?
I think that seems like a reasonable thing to at least investigate. It might come around to the structure at some point.
Okay.
Let's see where it goes.
I just want to
let's see where it goes.
Just in case you missed it, I just want to make clear. Barrios did say that the most recent paths were to the east. You understand that, right?
We do. The point is to not run into Dano and the LRCP. The point is to find the exit.
Yep, sure. Okay.
Although,
so
this is assuming that they are not looking for the exit, that they are hiding in the caves rather than trying to leave.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know.
All those in favor of that assumption? Okay, great. We go on the southwest path.
Okay, continuing on. All right, so you move 30 feet in, so you're going to move another 50. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so after a turn goes by, don't mind me. Don't mind me again. Oh. Don't mind that little exclamation I just made.
He's having too much fun, guys. We're in trouble.
You guys want me to take one of these?
Smiling.
You guys want to take one of these stink torches and I can go up with it?
Okay.
I don't know how many we have left.
We don't have enough.
At this point, Ted, the path where you basically ended up is that you are on the right at the base, the tip of that full on rock structure that connects the floor to the ceiling all the way up, and you're right at the edge of it. Yeah, Right there. Yep, exactly. Okay. Now, so to your right is like complete darkness, right? It's just like massive rock structure that just goes straight up, right? Might as well be like a wall to you guys. And but now and it seems like the path actually goes right in between that rock formation and the promontory, the rock formation again, that actually doesn't go all the way to the top. That's to your left and to the south. Okay.
Right.
Now that appears to go about 50 feet up, but because all of you are down on the ground right now, you can't see how far that goes up. It's just like it appears just to be like another rock wall, right? Now Upior can confirm.
Mm-hmm. So we can solve this. Give me the torch for 2 seconds. I'll fly up and I'll come back down.
I already know it's 50 feet, but you want to see what's on top?
Yeah, why not? Just give me the torch. I'll go up, come down.
Okay, up and down.
If there's a way to anchor a rope, also do it so we can climb up.
Precisely.
Okay. So Upior is going to go up quickly because he knows that the air is relatively swarming with sturges. Right?
Yes, but I do have the bug torch. Hopefully it works on sturges. Who knows? And just to be clear, John, we're you see my pointer? We're over here-ish.
Yes. Yeah.
Is it possible, I should say, for us to be on the my brain, sorry. The westerly side so that my light is occluded by that giant thing to anyone who would be east of it? Does that seem feasible?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm going to do that.
Okay. So you rise up. Actually, I think you're like limited. It's pretty slow, right? Levitation is like
20 feet around.
20 feet around. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. It's fine. Okay. So now you're close, and you know that's about 50 feet up, right? So and it's high, right? It's really high up there. It's close. So it's only about 30 feet of passage between the top of this thing and the stalactites, right?
And I'm gonna take it easy right when I get near the top. I'm not.
No, I understand. You're being careful. Exploding out. Yeah. Now you can hear the buzzing. You know you don't have like enough time to like probably assess fully what's going on before you're probably like safety is going to be like I need to come back down again.
Sure.
But indeed, when you kind of get up to that level where you kind of saw where the top was, it's a natural outcropping. The whole thing is absolutely natural. But perched on top of it is an actual structure. Okay. It appears to be like a Greek-style temple, like an Archontian-style temple, about 25 feet long by 15 feet wide, with a longer side sort of facing northeasterly. All right. It has a portico of slim columns that supports the pediment. So if you picture like the Parthenon, right? That's kind of what you got to picture here. The lintel has an Archontian bas relief showing some sort of like human figures. I'm going to say that you can't quite make it out because you're pressed for time and you're a little bit nervous and stressed. Okay. It looks like the interior, like similar to the Parthenon, is open to the air through the pillars, and you can see that there is a large sarcophagus right in the middle of it that is surrounded by 8 gigantic urns. And there appears to be bodies or corpses or skeletons, you're not really sure, but some sort of like sprawled shapes in the midst of around that sarcophagus, around those urns, like between the pillars, but you really can't make it out. Okay. You're muted. You're muted.
Well, I will relay that when I get down, but on my descent, John, I'm just going to keep an eye out for any suggestion of, because I don't think I have time to put a pile in right now, guys, but of a prior foothold, handhold, ladder, rope, fixtures like pylons, anything that people might have used to ascend this wall to get to that structure. Do I see anything?
I'm sorry. To ascend? No. So that's a very strange thing. There doesn't appear to be anything there. And in like, you know, that you're a rare case, like your ability to actually like be at that level and observe things that the vast majority of anyone dwelling here would never be able to see. It was like it was deliberately hidden on top of this promontory in the darkness of the heights, right? No sooner do you sort of assess this when the rest of the party, as you're being kind of pulled down, you hear something stalking through the mushrooms, coming around the corner from the dark rock outcropping to the north, kind of coming around from the southern end. And you see kind of parting through, not within melee distance, but just sort of like coming through the like parting through like a a stalk of a mushroom, is one bony, grimy, yellowed hand. And parting through it, you see the clattering of bony teeth as a skeleton emerges with a rusty sword in it. And you can see that the mushrooms around and behind it are also moving as well. And you can see the skeletons kind of moving through, approaching.
Yeah, I'm going to go
silently.
You know, the problem is two things, not problem, good thing. Silence is still on.
Wolford, yeah.
My and Wolford. So if y'all are within Wolford, John, would those skeletons be approaching them right now? Yes, even on a random encounter.
How do you know it's a random encounter?
I just don't remember if you remember.
You're Upior, just and skeletons are approaching.
David, they smell the blood of the living, baby.
No, I wasn't talking about me. I was talking about have they seem like they're coming towards me or towards the gang? And if they're going towards the gang, I'm just reminding you that silence is on the gang. I don't know if it matters.
It does not seem to matter. They emerge out of the darkness from around the rock cropping.
Okay, I'm gonna descend and warn everyone. I also, John, I just want to put out there if my little speculative drawing from this week on what each feature was is correct, and all the features. Do I get bonus XP? Can I get some bonus XP?
The speculative one. Oh yeah, yeah. So they're about 20 feet away, and it appears that 6 are emerging from there. You are all at half movement. Just be aware because you're fighting amidst mushrooms.
Are they in a line, John?
They're not in a line.
Okay,
sorry.
Would you ask them to neatly line up, please?
Yeah. John, like, are there 6 or are there 60 and we only see 6?
Like that's something I'm gonna fucking give you a confirmation on. You see 6 skeletons approaching out of the mushrooms around you, 20 feet away.
I'm gonna introduce him to the good word of Odin.
As long as we're asking questions, what are their hit points and armor classes? And...
exactly.
No, I want to know their names.
How many hit dice?
Who were they, John? What's their backstory?
Anyways, declaring spells. Anyone?
Turning counts as a spell. I will be turning.
Okay, that's it. Okay, roll for initiative, please.
This was gonna wait. Yeah.
I got a 6.
Go ahead, Mike. Roll.
Mike, you're
okay. I got a 1. Suck it.
Good job.
Okay, so they rush forward to attack. They're only about 20 feet away, so even with half move, they can engage with you. There are 6 of you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm floating in the air still.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, you are up in the air. We'll say like you're not all the way up because you're being pulled down, but we will say that you're
14 feet up.
Your rope, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Who was leading? Who was in front?
Wolford. Barrios and Mort are in front. Wolford, I think, has the rope.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tied to Wolford's waist.
Okay, so because of the mushrooms kind of barring the way in every direction, and Barros and Mort are sort of facing them first, I'm going to say that Barros and Mort are going to take the first wave as they come down on them.
Take it all.
So 3 on Mort. What's your AC?
20.
Okay.
Mort is like an ancient red dragon. He's
and Barrios?
Like, whatever.
Barrios, I'm having some problems here. Here we go. Barrios is a 15.
And okay, so they swing wildly at you, but you guys basically step step back amongst the mushroom stalks, and they just kind of cut into those mushrooms, and you are good to go.
So Mort and Barrios will step up. Barrios has Mort at his side, so he gets a +1 melee attack, and he rolls a 14 to hit.
Okay, yeah, AC 12.
All right, he does 7 points of damage.
Dead.
Mort at his side strikes with the pin and hits with a 27 for 9 points of damage.
Okay. Clatter of bones on the ground.
All right. Lisbeth actually.
When does the turn go off? I'm sorry. When does the turn go off?
Oh, now it's my bad. I jumped the gun. I wanted to fight.
You did a little bit. Go ahead.
I love kill skeletons. It's my favorite thing.
Well, I understand that. All right. First 2d6 is a 6, John.
Okay.
And then second one is a 7.
7? Okay. All right. So you basically blow all these out. They blow up into smithereens of shards of bone that basically like pepper all the stalks of mushrooms everywhere. Just
Morton didn't even see you do that, so he thinks it was him.
Yeah.
Beating the skeletons extremely.
I lean down to one of the skulls and I'd be like, have you heard the good word of Odin?
You know what?
This all happens totally silently, though.
Weird. Yeah, I was going to say, like, I guess turn doesn't have to be like a vocalized thing. I kind of think it probably should.
Also,
Have
like ears, so
yeah. I push Wolford out of the boat.
We're not in the boat. You run back to the boat with Wolford just to push him out.
Okay,
That's
what do you do?
Then you come back.
I think we need to follow this path and see if it comes around to the temple.
Are the skeletons carrying anything, John? Do they have any like insignia on them or old decrepit uniforms, or are there weapons like ancient Arcantian? Is there anything to indicate where and when these fuckers came from?
Yeah, so that's actually a good question. So they actually appear to be a mix of all of the skeletons appear to be like of modern variety, like recently dead, relatively recent. I mean, like maybe a couple centuries, you know. But they appear to be a mix of beastmen and human or humanoid at least, right? So it's fairly.
John, when the bones explode and scatter, and perhaps one interrupts a mushroom or two, I don't know if we've established this prior. Do any spores pop out from the mushrooms when they're impacted?
Yeah, but not in any sort of dangerous or relatively noticeable way. Yeah, yeah. Turn goes by for the combat. Don't mind me. Okay, so I'm hearing that you're continuing on the path, or do you going to divert to the promontory?
No, I wanted to climb the promontory. These guys spent a week convincing me we were not going to do that. So
let's continue on the path. But
continue on the path.
I mean, we can do it if you want to. We know it's there. I relay that it's there. I have a method of going up there and fixing a rope for you guys, although the bugs might be a problem. We haven't tested whether the torch actually helps with that or not. So getting more torch juice would be a good idea before going up there.
Given the limited torches, we just need to find an exit.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go another 50 feet, carefully moving through the fungal forest. You can hear the sturges above you hunting far up above. And at this point, after the next turn passes, you find yourself about 20 feet directly west of the second large outcropping. Okay.
Okay.
That's at the end of the turn. The path continues to go southwest. Do you continue following the path?
As we pass, as
southwest,
we pass
not south.
John, as we pass that that place where it looks like the promontory and the column that goes all the way up to the ceiling intersect, looking to the east there, does it seem like where those two places meet, it seems like that might be an interesting place, or a place where there might be some kind of climbing or ascension possibilities. Just looking over there, does it seem like that's the case?
Can't see through the forest.
Right.
You'd have to go into that spot. Would you like to do that?
Not even through the trees.
No?
You get no. We'll stay on the path.
Okay. So you stay on the path.
Good idea, though.
After the end of the next turn, you finally find yourself hitting the fungal cavern wall in the southwest. Okay. And you are, can you guys see my thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're like right here. Okay. Now, what's different though is the path ends in a door.
Big door, little door, wooden door, stone door.
1 moment, please.
You reticulate those splines.
Reticulating splines, yeah.
I'm wondering if it has one of those little like push or pull labels on it, because that would save a lot of trouble.
Wouldn't it be great if it said exit?
Yeah, nicely like glowing sign.
Dress.
I suspect
Definitely none of those like dead inside warnings.
Oh, dead inside, I don't want. That's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's an exterior door and it's daylight outside, then we probably see light pushing through the crevices if it's wooden. So,
You know, it'd be even worse is if the sign on it said like, "Hello, Mort," or "We've been waiting for you, AV Club." That would be super unnerving.
That's the kind of thing you'd see in the Gradient Descent. Great module from Mothership has a lot of goodies like that.
Nice.
Oh, if this is an exterior door, we might be able to hear that waterfall crashing.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? Or detect some of the mist, humidity.
I think there's probably 50 or 60 more feet between us and the cliff wall, though, at least.
Probably, but let's see.
But let's find out what's here, John.
Yeah,
I'm banking on trolls.
Think trolls? I'm thinking eccentric candy maker. That's what I'm betting on.
Give me 1 second. I have to dip out for 1 moment and we'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I found the line that I was looking for. All right, so here there is two large stone doors. Okay, and about 5 feet on either side is also appears to be man-made. So it looks like the wall was flattened out and carved out to kind of to set the doors in. Okay, but the doors and that wall appear to be made out of the same stone as the natural cavern itself is just carved. Okay, both of those stone doors are slightly out of the jamb, a little bit open into the cavern, and they don't look to be set in the jamb quite right. Okay, and you can see that there's a little bit of stone debris, like larger rocks and stuff like that are sort of poking through the narrow crack in between the doors.
Debris. So something collapsed on the other side, and it looks like it pushed the doors out of their door jamb.
That is sort of the impression you're getting. Yes.
Okay. Somewhere in the distance, you hear a dwarf go, "Amateurs!" All right. I'm going to take my torch, Sean, and I'm going to hold it up along the crack of the door and see if there's an air current coming through or flickering through, or to try and determine if there's still an egress back, through there or something.
Yeah, good plan. So you feel no air at all, and the light of the torch appears to illuminate that the entire height of the doors is completely filled with rubble.
Bollocks. Does it seem like it's new, like a new collapse? Like, are the rock edges still like very sharp, and is there dust kind of like in the air, or is it feel like it's an old collapse?
There's no dust in the air, but I don't think, unless you have a dwarf or a background, that you would be able to determine that.
I mean, I am pretty cool. I don't know if
you are. So if we crack, the doors are cracked up. You're saying we can look inside and we can see it's like solid stone blocked on the inside.
Pretty much, yeah. Mm-hmm, yep.
No labels, no wording or anything on the outside.
No. And most of the rock actually appears to be, most of it appears to be natural. Although you can see that some of the rocks do appear to be pieces of carved block. Like it is likely that beyond the doors was also like some carved corridor
Right.
or room or something like that.
Just on the off chance, Mort's Mask of Tauristus he will use to detect illusion and see if this is in fact real.
Yep, good plan. But no, it's very real.
Okay.
David's got the circlet on with the true seeing. So, David, are you seeing anything?
No,
That's true. I've not reminded John this whole time that I have true seeing.
Nothing enchanted.
Hopefully it didn't matter. Nothing to see. Well, I don't think we're going to have time to overcome this cave-in at the moment unless we have a bunch of stone shape from Elizabeth.
She doesn't have that. She hasn't learned that yet. But John, does it seem like airtight in there, or are there little cracks? Because if there are little openings somewhere, then she could use her reptile shape to be one of those little tiny white cave lizards and like try to find a way through the crack, but not if it looks completely sealed, because that would be kind of a waste.
There was no air current, Matt.
Yeah, there's no. It's pretty much sealed. It's a full on cave in. Yeah.
Okay.
But cool plan. But yeah, I'm going to rule that it's pretty much impassable unless you've got some sort of means of excavating.
So, no way we can pull a backhoe out of the sack.
Yeah, you can. It's just this, 2 inches long.
Stone shape.
Yeah.
We have a bead of force. We have several beads of force.
I don't know, guys. I mean, this feels a little bit like it, at least with our current loadout, like a dead end.
I'm very disappointed.
Well, we
I don't think that's
always
the exit regardless, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we can like circumvent the wall with that. If the mushrooms still aren't going all the way up to the wall like before, there's that little bit of passage that we
follow
could.
back to the temple thing.
So did this path that we're on, did it split off at any point?
Nope.
No.
There were no branches, right?
Nope.
It's an old path, not recently used, but has been reversed by the LRCP, but not recently.
Barrios finds it fascinating.
What, John?
I'm still with it.
I was just saying Barrios finds the whole thing fascinating because he's confident that the LRCP at one time was using this path.
Yeah.
But he can't explain the cave-in.
Probably pre-cave-in, yeah.
Does he know how old the tracks are that are on this path from the LRCP?
He thinks that they are. He can't date them exactly, but they're very old.
Okay.
Not like ancient old, but just
right.
It's because they're beastmen. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, should we just follow the base of the wall then and loop around?
I think we should do.
Yeah, I think the central structure is a reception hall to the dungeon.
Okay, so we have about 7 minutes left. So do you want to hug the wall towards the east? Is generally what you want to do?
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yep. So you do that. If you're hugging the wall, if you go single file, you can move at a normal pace because you're not moving through mushrooms. Is that what you'd like to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could also cast haste on us if we want to do it at double space. No? Okay.
Save your stuff.
Okay. So after 90 feet of hugging the wall, you are basically 20 feet south of the rock outcropping. So if you see my, you're right there.
Yeah.
Okay. And turn goes by. A couple things happen. The turn goes by. First of all, nothing you need to worry about at all.
Why do I worry about it then?
And then also the goop torch goes out.
Shit. How many goop torches do we have left, guys?
1.
Do we want to try and save it for now?
Yeah.
And then, because we might be able to, when we get to Gosterwick, have someone analyze what it is and see if we can.
Lisbeth, has been doing that. She's been gathering the stuff, but you can't just, it takes time to make it. Right?
Sure.
Okay, so you're just going to go by the continual light lockets then, the Bacteros effect lockets?
40 more feet to the temple, and then we can reassess.
So at this stage, like where you are exactly right here, it is intensely claustrophobic because there is a little bit of light from some orange mushrooms that are around, but you're so packed in between two massive walls of stone, right? If you can kind of imagine it, right? Like there's just blackness on either side of you encroaching, and you're sort of moving through the mushrooms on either side. But soon enough, as you continue eastward, it opens back up into the yawning cavern, which you can barely see above the mushroom caps above you. But you approach, and when you are right here, Ted, in that square, you see that sort of encroached on all sides with mushrooms is a wide staircase that rises directly east and upwards at a very, very steep angle, and it is grand and wide. It's about 10 feet wide. It takes up the entire square and rises directly up, and it appears to, well, you can't see because you have mushroom caps, so I'm just going to say it goes up and past the mushroom caps.
I'm floating, John. So I'll go up 30 feet and look.
Yeah. Okay.
John, is that more or less correct what I drew there?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Now, Upior rises up, daring the Sturges to attack him. But
he is juicy.
30 feet up.
30 feet.
He's hoping that the Sturges are 80 feet up. Now, when you go up 30 feet, you can actually see that it rises up only 20 feet to a wide parvis, like a wide, open, paved area. Okay? So it appears to be 10 feet lower than the facade that you saw from the north. Okay? I'll give you even though you can't really see everything, I'm going to kind of give you the description to sort of end the episode on. Okay. So this parvis is 1, 2, 3, 4, about 50 feet north to south and 40 feet east to west. That's sort of I've already described there, at that level, at that 20-foot level. Okay. About 10 feet in from the west and from the east are two columns of pillars about 10 feet apart. So there's 4 marching on the west side and 4 marching on the east side. And let me give you exactly what you see here.
Like this, John?
You got it. Exactly. Yep. It's made, the parvis itself is made out of old, cracked, and chipped, dirty white marble, similar to the marble that you saw on the face of the whole thing, on the facade of the whole thing. There are the 4 pairs of stone pillars. So these pillars themselves are actually stone. They are not the black marble of the further north one. Okay, and they're also spaced more apart. They seem to be made out of the same stone that the cavern is made out of. They rise about 30 feet into the air, so they're also taller and thicker than the ones that are to the north as well. All right, and it's just like this wide, flat, open passageway, right? Just demarcated by these pillars. Okay. To the north, beyond the last set is actually a 3-sided stairway. So there's like a stairway that rises up to the north and a stairway that rises up to the west and the east that goes up 10 feet to become the platform up at the top. Okay.
Makes sense.
So it's like a wide sort of a stairway on all sides, basically, that kind of rises up, approaching that chair. Right now, you can't see that far in the distance, I'm going to say, but you know that it leads up to like the chair right beyond. But what really makes you sort of open your eyes and wonder is when you look to the south. There is a pair of absolutely massive doors, the biggest doors you have ever seen, and they are made out of a black hematite. Okay, absolutely massive. They are. Let me give me 1 second there because they're cool. They are inscribed with arcane symbols that glow with a gentle, pulsating purple light. Okay, the symbols include an ankh on each one of the doors, as well as a feather on the western door and an ibis on the eastern door. Okay. Yeah, that appears to be it on the door. So, but then there'd be these massive symbols. So like 2 big onks right in the middle, and then there's like a feather on one and an ibis on the other. And they are really, really big. They are, let's see.
I don't think this is the exit, guys.
They are, oh, you know what? They're big. They really are big, but they are almost, I think they're the exact same height as the one that was in the Goblin Warrens. They're 15 feet tall. Okay.
Do we see any hardware, John? Like, are there just plain handles? Is there a lock? Is there a bar?
There are no handles. Yeah, it just appears to be 2 slabs of hematite.
Does David's true sight tell him anything?
Yes, that they're it's the doors are, both of the doors are heavily enchanted.
And what about the throne?
He can't see that far.
All right.
Okay. That's crazy. So, guys, this almost feels like maybe that is the exit, right? Because people coming into Arden Vul would then be confronted with whatever is on this throne.
I think it is.
But aren't the beastmen actually using the exit?
No, I don't think so.
Last thing before we have to dip out for the episode is that there is an identical staircase that goes down the other side.
Okay.
I was wondering if it was symmetrical. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
All
right. So so some interesting stuff that you've discovered here in the southern fungal caverns. But well done, guys. Good exploring done. And loot gotten as well, but not returned to base. So well done. All right, we'll leave it there. All right, everybody. Thank you as always for watching and or listening to 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications every time we publish new material. If you have the wherewithal and some extra cash, support us on our Patreon. It really helps. It goes straight into our broadcast. And thank you, as always, to our patrons, our explorers, delvers, and, of course, our conquerors. Matt, take it away with this week.
Yes, my turn to thank you all so much. I'll start with Doc Jones, 73, Snords, John Hooker, Kayla Ripley Wolf, Zachary Hall, Saps, Papa Bear, Zach Schiflet, Mercury 605, Ruben D. Caller, Dave Rosser Jr., Andrew, Dakota Nielsen, Cam, Stephen Kessenberry, Brad and Aiden, John and La Logan, Kabrowskis, Magic Meat Machine, Tom Leary, Phil, Jeff Tokich, G Tokyo Time, Nick, Terry Barney, Eric Lawson, Mando NZ, Faisal, Ted Gast, James Dewig, Nefarious Gamer, Grunt, Andrew Schroker, MM, Michael Schilling, Stefano Di Maiolo, Ash Gabriel, the Hex Brawler Twins, Summon Toast, Dungeon Heart Adam, Scott Earsley, Mech Jack, Kick Maniac, Dyer Grew, Tom Eric Garrettson, not Matt, but not least, and the Matts, Matt Mason, Matt Gardner, Matt Koenig, and Matt Young. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you as always, everyone. We really do appreciate it. And everyone enjoy their week, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
See you later. Thank you, John.
Thanksgiving.